Decent.
Should be on. Good afternoon, everyone. Hello,
Good
Charlotte.
afternoon,
Who's the
guys.
first
Hello.
in the chat? How's it going, Daniel?
Hello, Charlotte.
You all right?
Yeah, it's good, man. Not too bad. Yeah, pretty good. Pretty good. How's yourself, man?
All right. All right. It's Wednesday again. We're back.
I know.
Another
Back once
week.
again. Flies over.
Episode
Literally.
30. Would you believe it?
Whoa. Oh my God. I've got a. One of those videos is autoplay.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to be like, I've got to go. I said, oh, right.
No. It was like. It's not at all. It was like an advert. It was like,
Yeah, but we won't be able to hear that. So it's all right. It's when they play on
Yeah.
mine when I'm going through the things and it's like, brand new, sell it bang. It's like, oh, no, not again, man. Flex tape is so strong. So, oh, dear me. Yeah, we'll go.
I love that what's it? You know that meme where it's like that tape that they put like over
It
water.
is flex tape.
And
That's the one.
it's that flex tape, right?
That's a lot of damage. That's the guy.
It's so funny that.
And he saws the boat in half with the massive power saw, and then he sticks it back together with this like duct tape. It's just like fine. It's completely watertight.
Yeah, that's definitely it's definitely going to be able to sell.
Hang on quickly, just for anyone. Let's just have a quick look at the flex tape guy. Let's see if we can find him. So that's the tape. Where's the guy though? I'm sure the caption is "That's a lot of damage."
Just the one.
There he is.
Like,
there
the
he slaps it on the water, on the big.
Yeah. Because people will always have some for like some huge disaster, and then it'll just be like with a caption, someone slapping something over it, like
there
something that's like not gonna help.
Phil Swift, that's his name. Phil Swift.
Phil Swift. There you go.
Flex tape. Look up the flex tape meme. You'll enjoy yourself. It's good. It's very wholesome.
Classic meme.
It's very, very non-threatening or offensive at all. JonTron did a video. Yeah, JonTron did do a video on that actually.
I need to see that.
I've only seen bits of it
videos
posted online, but yeah, he did. I don't watch a lot of JonTron's videos, but I did think that was really funny.
I used to love his old content when he did more like kind of weird Sega games and stuff like that. I really used to enjoy that.
Again, I don't really follow him that much, but every now and then I see some of his stuff crop up and it is quite funny.
Yeah.
So hi everyone. Yes.
Hello guys.
I was showing you the flex tape guy, and I just realised that you didn't see. So hang on. Let's go back.
I'm in desperate need of a haircut now. It's been too long,
it's
man.
a joke.
Couldn't be longer, really.
Well, it could be longer, but it might not look great.
Looks bad enough
mine's
as it
getting
is,
worse and worse by the day. It's going out rather than down. It's starting to become a problem. Getting like a weird afro.
Mine just goes really everywhere, just on one side. It's like the other side's like so thin, but that side's just like mop.
Yeah, so that's the flex tape guy there. Oh, sugar, I've clicked on the link. Phil Swift, there he is. Right, so just a few things. Now that we've given everyone a couple of minutes by just talking absolute rot.
One of those flex tape moves is so funny. Where it was like it was about management, and then it was like all the problems like at work, and then it was like pizza party and just like slapping the finger.
Exactly. So if they've learned one thing in the past 4 months or whatever it's been, pizza solves absolutely everything. If you can't get over it with pizza. I don't even think it exists, honestly.
They're so good, some of those memes.
Can anyone remember the ads about the wallpaper paste years ago, and they put them in dangerous situations to show how strong the paste was? I don't actually. You have to send us one of them, Sue. We'll have to have a look at that.
That sounds pretty funny.
Charlotte's saying she likes the JonTron older videos better as well.
Yeah.
I'm not an aficionado, unfortunately.
It used to be with Game Grumps.
Right.
But then you end up leaving them, and I don't know.
Fair enough.
Became an alt-righter, I think. Actually.
Oh, good. That's what you want. You want to become one of the alt-right. Like that's.
There was a big controversy about that.
I feel like everyone does that. Like at some point, it is either a part of the alt-right or is accused of being part of the alt-right.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's because it was
actually are or not.
Unfortunately, it was popular for a while, so.
And it sort of was influenced by meme culture, didn't they? Take
yeah, it did.
Pepe the Frog and make him into a fascist icon or something.
Pretty much, yeah, they did actually. Yeah, and like people when Trump was going up for election, people were talking about that. They were like, how is this like? It's so weird. But,
yeah, it is a bit strange. Anthony says he remembers the paste advert. Like I say, someone send us a link to it and we'll have a little look. So I don't remember that one. Right, so quick update on the media savvy side of things. As you guys may be aware, We've started a new project. We sort of mentioned it. Anyone who tuned into the cooking stream this morning, Dan did his nice little to camera presentation, saying that we're seeking tech donations to support self-advocates with a learning disability, and that's in partnership with Learning Disability England and funding from Nesta. So we're looking for leading in delivery of the project, supporting to secure donation, allocation and distribution of 200 smartphones, tablets and laptops to go out to people with learning disabilities who've been affected, obviously by the current situation. And sorry. So yeah. Maybe the next fundraiser challenge could be something to do with I don't know, sticking us to the ceiling with paste? Question mark? I don't know. So we'll see. We'll come up with something. It's always awful. So yeah. So this project, like I say, some of you guys caught this morning. So aiming to help identify groups of digitally excluded people with learning disabilities to stay connected, tackle loneliness during the pandemic, and people who are vulnerable and self-isolated. That increases the loneliness. So increasing their ability to connect to vital services is a massive part of what we're trying to do with this project. So if you know of anyone who's got an old laptop, and this doesn't necessarily have to be like you or someone you know, it could be like forwarded into a company or someone you know who works in a company or a part of an organisation that has a lot of technology, potentially lying around. Things like old smartphones and tablets especially seem to be ones that people are crying out for. So if you know any companies or anyone who works for a company that might have some stuff, or you want to make a donation yourself, we'll put a link in the description to the LinkedIn article, but that's got all the information you'll need on there to get in touch. I'll just drop that in there now. I'll just put it under tech donations, and then the link will be underneath that. So yeah, that's a really cool project that we've got the privilege of taking the lead on. So it'll probably be myself and possibly you, Daniel, at some stage of repurposing technology to go out, and it's across the northeast, and there's some organisations down south as well that are going to benefit from this as well. So it's not just here either. So it's all about supporting self-advocates with learning disabilities.
Brilliant.
Yeah, so a couple of the guys are saying they have some old stuff. The keyboard, yeah, definitely. The laptop and a mouse and connection wise if needed. Yeah, if it's any of that stuff, guys, that you're looking to offload and you're not using anyway and you were looking to donate it, we'd more than happily take it. If you can get in touch with us on another platform, say Facebook, for example, or email would be a good one as well. And we'll arrange to come and pick it up if that's okay. Really appreciate that. Yeah, so even if something's not up to spec, so very good point. We might be able to use it for spare. We might be able to utilise it in another way. Waste not, want not at Media Savvy, as you're probably aware. So yeah, that's the first little update from us today. So please get in touch if you've got any ideas about that, the tech donations, or any people you might want to put us in contact with. We'd greatly appreciate that.
Yeah.
Next up, obviously, I mentioned the cooking streams. That was the last one today for now. So massive thank you to Mel for putting up with me and Dan and making all the food, because it's very tasty. I've managed to bag some chili for later on, as you probably see in the bag behind us. So that's me tea sorted. Just because they're finished though, same with the photo piece stuff, feel free to keep going through that. They're all on a playlist on the channel. So if you want to go back through them and have a little go cooking the recipes, or you want to go back to the photo piece sessions and do some more artwork, we've had some sent in this week, which is actually going out in our newsletter as like a featured image in the middle of it. So that's really good and a bit recognition for you guys. We've been posting some of it on social media as well. So if you've got any pictures of the food you've made, if you've got any pictures of images that you've created or drawings you've done, or Mel's got a craft video coming out, which will be hot off the presses soon. So if you want to get involved that way, remember to just share it with us. And
it's a good one.
Yeah, Daniel's just finished editing it, so I thought I'd give it a plug.
Yeah, it's got a good video, man.
Yeah, no, it is really cool, and it's come out really well. So just remember the hashtag We Are Media Savvy. Stick that on there, send it in to us. We'll share it. You can share it. We've had quite a good response recently, so let us know if you've been up to what you've been up to, craft wise, cooking wise, drawing wise, whatever it is. Share your work. Would love to see it. And that sort of brings me on to the next two things. So I mentioned the craft video that you've just done, Daniel.
Yes.
Roughly how long was it again, mate?
It's about 16 minutes.
Oh, okay, cool.
In total.
So Mel, again, has been busy. She's been very busy. Has made a sunflower for what is the Sunflower Day event that St. Benedict's are running on Friday. So for anyone who doesn't know, St. Benedict Hospice are one of our charity partners, and they have an event all day, which is a fundraising event and an awareness raising event called Sunflower Day. So throughout the day, Anth will be manning a live stream on Friday. So I'll put a link to their, well, the Facebook's on there on the screen now, and if you can't find it, it is St. Benedict Hospice. If you just type that into Facebook, you'll find it, and this is their page. There'll be a live stream on here on Friday with a bunch of different content that people have done, to raise money and raise awareness, and we've pitched in with a little craft video, and we've recorded them a little message as well. So check that out on Friday. Even if you can't watch for the full day, just drop in for a little bit and see what they're up to. There'll be a whole range of different stuff on there. So the craft one that Mel's done for that, Lynn, is she's actually made a sunflower out of paper. It was paper, right, Daniel?
Yes. Yeah. Well, I think so, yeah.
Paper,
yeah,
paper, a bit of glue, and some cord, I think.
Yep.
Yeah. She shows you how to do it. The video's live now. Dan's just put in the chat.
Brilliant. There you go, yeah. So it's up there if you want to watch it.
Ahead of time, it will be out on the Friday as well. Hottie off the presses. I think you meant to say hot, but it's hottie off the presses now.
I think hottie off the presses.
The early 2000s wrestler, Scotty 2 Hottie.
Scotty 2 Hottie, man. Classic to do the worm. Do the worm all over. Yeah.
Do the worm with the blonde tips. That's what you need to do.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
And your baggy jeans. Anyway, St. Benedict's Hospice, they've got a fundraiser coming up, / awareness raising campaign on Friday. So feel free to check that out. The video's there if you guys want to have a go at that. If you want to check the video out, because you'll then need to go and get the stuff, because I think Mel used quite a bit of card on that one, and there were a few different colours and stuff, wasn't there?
Yeah. There's a few different colours of card.
Yeah.
And yeah. So yeah, you'll probably need that, and obviously scissors, glue.
And don't run with the scissors either.
Yeah, make sure, and you hold them that way, right? You've got to hold them.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's the one.
I think try not to be a child, because I don't think children are supposed to handle scissors or run with them. And the last bit, so sharing the work that you've done with us, I have got a video from one of our very, very esteemed former guests on the Monday show. Wib has recorded us a video. Well, a song, actually, a full song that he's written especially for us. I'm not going to play the full thing, because last time I tried to play a full-length video, it completely crashed my computer.
Oh my god!
So I'm gonna try and play a little snippet from it for you at low volume, and then I'll put the link in the chat.
This is.
Hang on, let me get the
my song.
Give it a second.
So yeah, guys, everything you need for the craft video is listed in the description of the video. So if you head over to that craft video, it's all in the description there if you guys are interested.
Yeah, and Mel's done like a really good step-by-step like breakdown of what she did at each step, hasn't she?
Yeah.
A step-by-step breakdown at each step. That's
yeah.
Sense, but never mind.
You
get the idea.
There's a step-by-step breakdown.
Mel explained good is what I meant. That's what I was saying. Okay, let's see if we can get this song from Wib playing.
Familiar savvy called Body, Mind and Soul.
So it's Body, Mind and Soul.
First time I played it, probably.
I think this is, he just mentioned that it's his first playthrough of it as well.
After looking for our body, mind and soul. Sometimes life is hard and sometimes it's so cruel. It's the time that we have never known. This thing called lockdown, most of us are on our own. Don't be scared and ask for help. Be ashamed to cry. It all out, you'll feel better, only you know why. have you brought my life back to better things, times. Since all that helped my well-being, showing good signs. Spread our rings back around the earth. Beautiful creatures learning since our birth. Can be clever and learn and love. Make mistakes from which can be sad, but ones will help, just follow your path. This is our goal, healthy body, mind and soul. This is our goal, healthy body, mind and soul. To all our media savvy, Melissa and Dan, I owe you all my love for everything you've done. I've made many new friends, many battles I've won. Say I'm not perfect, 'cause there's still a lot to be done. Spread our wings round on the earth. Beautiful creatures learning since our birth. Can be clever and learn.
So yeah, just to remind you guys, I think this was the first time Wibb's done this song. He said on the video, he literally the first playthrough, so he's done a really good job. Could you hear that, Daniel?
Yeah. I turned the stream on for
cool. Really good. Really impressed with that. I made sure to message him because I didn't know if he wanted us to play it. But really appreciate that, Wib.
Yeah, man, you rocked it, dude.
We've got it like the video saved here, but I'll wait and see if Wib wants it putting out there properly. I don't know if he wants to like re-record it. I think he was a little bit worried because obviously it was the first time he played it through, so he said he made a couple of mistakes, but I think it was great.
Fantastic, man.
That was class. Really good job. I don't know if I don't think he's in the chat today, so you might have missed it.
I know, unfortunately.
I'll have to send him the video so you can watch back after.
Definitely.
But no, really appreciate that anyway, and we'll pass on the good feedback from you guys and all. But I thought that was definitely worth playing. And like I say, so it doesn't necessarily have to be something you've drawn or made or cooked or whatever. It can be a little song, a poem. I know Dan had his poetry cap. Do you wear a cap if you do poetry? Like your poetry turtleneck? You must wear.
Yeah, it's like like a beatnik. You can wear like a black turtleneck and a beret.
And like a
black
beret and some
turtleneck,
round
black
glasses, like some John Lennon glasses.
Yeah.
So
you see the
woke up
episode?
The
episode of The Simpsons where Ned Flanders is a beatnik. It's really funny. But no, it's Ned Flanders' parents. I'm sure it's his parents.
Ned Flanders' beatnik parents is what comes.
Yeah,
up.
that's
it.
Also,
you have your little round glasses on and you go tea and you have like a beret and a striped shirt. So that was Dan the other week when he wrote some poetry and when he woke up in the morning, like really early, he turned into a beatnik. I didn't know what a beatnik was until just now.
Yes, it's the 50s, a late 50s literature movement. Bolstered by Jack Kerouac, Allen Ginsberg, and William Burroughs.
So from now on, Dan will have nothing to the contrary said.
Yeah.
Anthony's saying, can I plug Dean James and the Black Dog's new single Mother? He was a nurse that looked after me for many years. Yeah.
Cool.
Anthony, if you've got some stuff that you want to send in, let us know. Just send us a message, a text or an email or whatever, and we'll drop it in there. I don't know if we'll have time right now, but we will make sure it's covered if you want to send some stuff in, and just a little bit of like an explanation if it's someone else's work. So I know Lynn sent us the Sunderland based lad, and now I've forgot his name, but we did talk about it last week, and I think I played a little bit of the song, didn't I? And then that's what crashed my computer. So yeah.
Yes, no, you did. Yeah, I can't remember his name either. I don't want to butcher it. Like
noise now because we played it.
Is it Tim something?
Mouse Smith. I can't remember his first name now. We gave the album reviews in last week's video. Anyway, it's in the description if you want to read the album review because the album's very good as well. But yeah, if you want to send us some stuff in, just give me a little bit of context on what it is, and we'll sort that out.
Absolutely. Tom Moss Smith, that's the
Tom
one.
Moss Smith,
Yeah. So we're halfway there, man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
My
Tom
chat
Moss
is
Smith.
now frozen, so
I'll keep an eye on it.
Cool. So I think that's all the updates from us. But yeah, like I say, send us some stuff in. We really appreciate it, especially when it's original music as well. That's really nice.
Yeah.
But no pressure. You don't have to do music. Like I say, could be
Sue Dale says that we've got Dan the Beatnik man, and she says any other fun nicknames for the media savvy stuff.
Dan the Beatnik man.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Oh dear.
It's good stream highlights content. Yeah.
That's almost as good as Anthony. I hope you don't mind us saying, but he said he's on about haircuts, and he said, "Oh well, you could just get a tut baldy nut." That made us laugh as well. I don't know why. Just
a good old tut baldy nut. A lot of my friends went for the tut baldy nut, but I went for the hippie look. So
depends. I've just gone for whatever's happening.
You've managed to survive it somehow.
Like I said, it's going out, not going down. So it doesn't get long in that sense. It goes
gets an afro.
Yeah. There's a lot of gel on it today, unfortunately, because it wasn't playing the game today. I have managed to have 2 haircuts from my dad as well. One of them was great. The second one, not so much. So you're saying that's why I didn't respond as well, because there's plenty of nicknames kicking about, but none of them are available on YouTube, let's say.
Yeah, that's it.
That'll have to be on the after hour show, I think.
Yeah, Patreon exclusive.
some lewd names. Yeah, so what was I saying? I can't remember now.
We're talking about Dan being a beatnik, and then I think we were at the end of the updates.
Yeah.
So
Anthony said he's got a photoshopped image for us soon, which is good.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's not of your tut baldy nut. It's something else, but we'll see. Cool. So good news, normal news, normal people things. What do normal people do again?
Let's find out, man.
Okay,
there's some good news.
Yeah,
today.
You've probably all seen this one, because you've been under a rock if you haven't seen it. But Marcus Rashford is now seeking more change after a food voucher win. So the make a U-turn now sort of movement that he set up, which was helping kids who are from poorer backgrounds, have food, basically have free school meals and have that voucher extended over the summer holidays. So his campaign prompted a government U-turn that will see parents claim vouchers for about 1.3 million children in England during the summer holidays. He did an interview with BBC Breakfast, and he basically said there's still more steps, there's more to be done, more steps need to be taken. And I think he had a phone call with Boris Johnson and just said, sort of thanked him. Try to be as positive as possible.
I would definitely recommend to anybody read Marcus's letter on Twitter. He has a open letter to all PMs.
Twitter is,
and so Haven's going to drop us a link to that. And if you get the chance, it's just like 2 pages. It's open letter to all PMs, and he talks about his story. He talks about
MPs,
how he was
not PMs. He doesn't write all the Prime Ministers.
All right, yeah. Sorry, MPs. Yeah, so he talks like to all MPs, and he talks about his story, his background, how he was growing up in a family of 5 in Manchester, and he says he was one of the kids who would have benefited from this program, and he said if he didn't have those kind of food vouchers when he was a kid, that he might not have been able to become the footballer that he is today, and have England caps and all the rest of it. So it's a really powerful letter, I think, and it's awesome. So good boy, good lad.
Good lad. That's the overriding feeling.
Yeah.
So but everyone would look. Well, Charlotte said she wanted to see us have an afro, and we'll see. I'm the pudding bowl guy. Oh, okay. The pudding bowl. I get it. The pudding bowl. I'm with it. I'm with it. Lynn saying Marcus what a star, saw him make his England debut against Australia at the Stadium of Light. I was actually at that game.
Oh wow!
I went to that game at the
But
Stadium
that was
of Light,
awesome, actually.
the friendly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good. He scored in that game as far as I
Yeah.
remember. But yeah, so this is class, and he basically, I mean, they told him no at the start as well, which is what's even better. He wrote that letter and they basically said no, and then everyone sort of jumped on the back of it and said, well, why not? Do you know what I mean? Everyone sort of essentially rallied the cause, which is really good.
I mean, if you look at the retweets, 160k retweets there, so it's, you know, it got some traction.
We've given football as a bit of a bad rap on this show in the past,
true.
But this time, I mean, fair play. And like I said, with the charities that they set up as well for the NHS, you've got to give them credit where it's due. Do you know what I mean?
Definitely, and I love something like this as well, because he's not forgot where he's come from. There's a lot of footballers who come from humble beginnings, and for him to say, listen, like, this is something that, like, you know, helps me to be able to thrive. You know, we would save everything, and I think it's great. And he's using his platform.
He's only 22 as well.
22, yeah, he is.
Which you forget, like, it'd be quite easy for all that money and fame to go to like someone
Definitely.
that his head.
Well, it does all the time. It always happens, mate.
But he's not, he's 22.
Nice. So yeah, he's a legend, man. I think when I read about it,
I did see as well, Manchester City's official account tweeted him out, and then he had a bit of an argument with everyone's favourite nitwit, Katie Hopkins.
Oh god.
She was basically slating something that he'd said, and then it was like he posted a picture, and she was in a Man City kit and he was running away from her, and she said, "Oh, I look good in blue," and then Manchester City's official account said, "Not in our blue, you don't," and then that got it got like 100k retweets or something. That was really good. Honestly, look it up. Look
I'll check that out.
Go through Marcus Rashford's recent Twitter interactions. Really funny.
Amazing. That's amazing.
It's completely had everyone on toast, which is class. And then I seen Mahan Cock managed to get his name wrong and call him Daniel Rashford, like on the telly being interviewed, and I was like, oh, how a man.
Come on, man. And
Boris Johnson claimed that he'd only just found out about the campaign yesterday when he did his briefing as well, which doesn't surprise us because everything's a bit topsy-turvy at the top at the minute.
Pretty much, yeah.
It seems to be a calamity of errors at the moment.
Wibbs has arrived in the chat.
Okay.
He says that he's had a bit of bother getting on YouTube.
Well, Wib, you've missed. You're supposed to be man of the moment. You've missed it now. We played your song before and everyone loved it. So once again, thanks for that. We appreciate it. And like I say, we've uploaded it, but we've not shared it yet. So it's on unlisted. But I don't know if you want to share it out on your YouTube, or if you want to. Because I know you weren't particularly happy with it being the first time you've played it, but let us know if you want us to share it. We can do. We want to. So yeah, obviously, just class. Just have a little read up on the Marcus Rashford story. He wants to do more on it. Like I say, for a lad his age, and it's really good. And I've seen a few people sort of calling them out, saying, "Well, why are you making the taxpayer pay for it?" And the point is, like, you know, football. Like I've covered this a lot. Because I've sort of looked into a lot more. Footballers pay a lot of tax into this country. Like half the wages go in tax. So
yeah,
and he himself has set up a bunch of charitable organisations as well. And being involved with them as well. So I think what he's doing is really good.
Correct me if I'm wrong though, but it was like this was a plan that the government initially had, but they scrapped, right? And it's not like it wasn't already going to be something they were doing, but it's just that they scrapped it and they were like, well, no, this is. You know, people are relying on this to survive, really, and you know, like legit child poverty and child hunger, which is like in the UK.
We've been the government's been slammed by the UN in 2018 or 2017 for the amount of poverty that exists. So this is a good step in the right direction.
Definitely.
And you know, it would have been quite easy for the government to just take the hardline stance of no. So as well, you know, whoever made the decision. Good. Got to give them credit where it's due. It's a good thing and good if it takes people, you know, footballers to use their influence to speak out about it. Fine,
100%
by me, and good on them for doing it.
Definitely. We was just saying that we can. He says you can do what you want. Go for it. So cool. I'm guessing that means he's happy for us to share. Brilliant.
We might feature it in the newsletter because we've been doing artwork featured in there, so we might drop the song in for next week.
Fantastic.
So I've got an article here, and the caption I put on it is "Sniffer dogs on one." So I have a feeling that it's. I did read the story. Don't worry, I did my homework. I always do. Sort of. So dogs trained to sniff out COVID-19 score near perfect in diagnosis of human sweat samples.
Whoa.
Which is a lot to process.
I love that caption there, Swiss Army nose.
I know. So, does sweat from someone infected with COVID-19 have a unique scent? Researchers in Paris and elsewhere believe that it does. And they're now using dogs that can sniff it out, and they're testing to see how effective they are at that. So dogs that are... The Swiss Army nose is obviously in reference to dogs being used to sniff out all sorts of things. So for centuries, humans have used their sense of smell, the dog's sense of smell, as a tool for medical diagnosis, and dogs have been detecting cancer in over 2,000 modern scientific studies.
Whoa.
So very powerful scent, very powerful sense of smell used on the scent of COVID-19. They've been testing it now to see if basically they can sniff it out, and so far, near perfect is the outcome, which is really good.
Dogs are absolutely amazing.
Yeah, we don't deserve them, man.
Honestly,
I seen a tweet the other day, and it was just like, it wasn't like a big long thread. It was just dogs deserve to live forever, and I was like, yeah,
that's true. Like there's so many stories about dogs saving people's lives. Like, you must have seen some of those viral videos where someone will pretend to be drowning, and the dog will literally jump into the water and drag them out of the water.
Yeah,
like it's this. Dogs are completely.
We don't deserve
amazing.
them, man. We don't.
Nah.
Definitely not. Unconditional love. And like you say, like they're so perceptive as well.
Definitely. And if you like,
sorry, go on.
No, yeah, just like people get them. If people are feeling sad or they're going through like trauma or something, the dog can kind of like pick that up. They'll pick it up and they'll like give them affection and stuff. It's like they're amazing, really.
They're very perceptive, like I say, to the point that we don't understand because we think we're so superior and understand everything.
Yeah,
they get it on like an instinct level, which
Definitely.
is just something else. So the dogs that they're using or they've trained are the 8 Belgian Malinois Shepherds. I don't know how you say that. I'm guessing that's how you say it. To identify the smell of COVID-19 in the sweat of infected individuals. Their overall success rate was near perfect, correctly guessing an average of 95% of samples. 4 dogs successfully identified a positive COVID sweat sample 100% of the time. So yeah, it's really good. It's another like avenue to go down as well in the old fight against the COVID.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Obviously, they'll probably scale that up and up and up to see how far they can get and how accurate it is. But so far, 95% from 8 dogs is pretty high. I assume they're going to stick to this breed. I can't remember what one it is they use. They use a bunch of different dogs, but there's like certain breeds that are really good to be like bomb sniffing dogs or drug sniffing dogs.
Yeah.
I can't remember the breed either. But
what's the German Shepherds?
Is it German Shepherds?
I feel like it is.
There's other ones as well.
Chihuahuas.
Yeah, Chihuahuas. Diegos as well. They use it. Diego's really good at smelling out like salmon.
That's it.
And if you've got any like pasta, or if you've had some kind of like chicken and rice, he does a sniff of them.
Yeah. Good at that. That's the one.
That's a German Shepherd, just for reference. Hang on, I want to see what one of these is. A Belgian Malinois.
Malinois. Type in Tibetan Mastiff. Have a look at that.
That's the Malinois.
Wow.
That can't be how you say it.
Malinois.
They're similar, I think. They're similar looking to a German Shepherd. I probably would have confused it for a German Shepherd if I didn't Google this.
Malinois.
Cocker Spaniels as well.
That makes sense. I've heard that actually. I think that might be right. Yeah.
Now we're doing some research live on the air. Yeah,
Belgian Shepherd.
Yeah. So what
sometimes I'll just do a deep dive and just go look through different dog breeds, and then you'll see a dog that you never thought existed, or you've never seen a dog like that dog in the street before. You're like, whoa, I didn't know that was a dog.
Someone around here, mine's got one of these. The one from the memes.
Oh, Shiba Inu. Dude, I love those dogs.
Someone's got one of them around here.
They're so lush.
I didn't even think it was a real dog.
Yeah, they must be expensive to get in the UK though.
Yeah,
I think because I don't think they're yeah. Have you seen oh, dude, I love those dogs. if I when I ever get a dog, that's the one I'm going for.
I think I would.
Why are Shiba Inu so aggressive? I hope not. It makes me not want to get one.
I'd maybe get a husky, but they're a lot of work in terms of you have to have a lot of time to devote to them.
They're lush, man.
And they
What's
don't
that one
like
like?
being alone either. They start freaking out.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to change up the pace now. We're going to start talking about tear gas, rubber bullets, and riot gear. So there you go. We've gone from singing to Marcus Rashford to dogs to tear gas and other kind of riot control measures. But Scotland voted, and it was unanimous vote as well, to end the export of tear gas, rubber bullets, and riot gear to the United States. This was a few days ago, but I just thought it was quite important to cover. So the Scottish Parliament voted in favour of immediately halting the export of rubber bullets, tear gas and riot gear to the United States on Thursday. The tally, issued by 52-0 votes with 11 abstentions. 11 abstentions.
Wow.
Comes less than 3 weeks after George Floyd's death.
That's awesome, man.
Lisa's just leaving.
Bye, Lisa.
So less than 3 weeks after George Floyd died at the hands of American police. Obviously, the nationwide protests against racialized police violence, as they put it. In many cases, police have met peaceful protests with violent force. They've said that the Scottish Parliament stands in solidarity with the Black Lives Matter movement and considers that the UK government must immediately suspend all export licenses for tear gas, rubber bullets and riot gear to the US. And the reason they were doing that, if I read on a little bit, so according to the UK's licensing criteria, the material should not be sold if there is a clear risk that items might be used for internal repression. So
right.
What they've basically said is it's sort of violating our licensing criteria and we shouldn't be selling them to. However, I don't really know, like the whole thing sort of always makes me wonder why it's even a thing anyway, because our licensing criteria says we can't sell it if it's going to be used for that. And there's like several UN and like Geneva Convention stipulations that you can't use it in warfare or on your own citizens. So what's it for? Like, it doesn't have. If you can't use
decoration.
it in war, and you can't use it to, for whatever riot control, which is fine. I don't disagree with that. I think that it shouldn't be used. So why does it even exist? Is the question, and why is it still being made?
Yeah.
And it makes us just wonder that.
It's the whole.
There's a lot of lip service with it, right? Like people say this and then do another thing,
just the whole idea of like arms, that every country has to have like an armed defense. Like imagine if every country just decided tomorrow that they were going to just get rid of all of the weapons and everyone could just live peacefully. It's a shame that it's not the way it is, but
it's not so much the weapons, it's like the militarization, the way like the police in America are essentially just a paramilitary, so they're just the military but without the training or the expertise. Quite a good podcast. I always talk about Joe Rogan, but Jocko, is it Willnick?
Jocko Willnick, yeah.
He was on, and he was a former Navy SEAL, so strong, so butch. Like
he's
commanding officer, and he was saying like the problem with the police is the training time and the consistency and frequency of training doesn't happen. You get like 3 months training, and you maybe do some combat training like for 3 or 4 hours in that, and then that's it. You jumped out on the street at like maybe 21 years old. And
it's crazy.
You've got to deal with all this stuff, and this is how these things happen. It allows people like this guy who's in there, the racists and the thugs, to get to slip through because there's no vetting.
That's a good point,
and you're putting them in a military situation with all the equipment they've got and all the power they've got without training them to be in that situation.
It's a fair point.
And without being the too emotional and the too like the under supported. There's no mental health support. There's no like emotional detachment you kept talking about. Like if it's a crisis situation, and not to panic, and this is what's happening. The officers are panicking, and you see in that at the protest, they don't know how to deal with a peaceful protest, and they don't know how to deal with people, so that they're panicking, and it's just stress response, and it's completely the fault of whoever's trained them. Is basically what you're saying. Instead, it's a systemic issue, which I thought was a really good point.
It's an interesting take. It is definitely an interesting take. They definitely need more training.
And he said, like, what happens is if you don't train them properly, you don't know what your officers are like. So you don't know what your recruits are like because you haven't got to know. You haven't got to see them in a pressure situation.
Yeah, if they've done it once,
and if
in practice,
well, exactly.
It should be a mandatory thing. That you look at you know, some of these officers, and
Well, it's
they
the
just
it's the
look.
videos where they're just going down and they're just pepper spraying like lines of people who are just sitting down, and it's like that's illegal. Like for starters,
Yeah.
it's illegal.
Yeah, they need a complete reform. He signed a police reform bill, but I don't know what it was about. I just saw the headline for it.
Yeah, I haven't looked into it too
So
much. It's
I
hard to
haven't
keep
checked.
up, to be honest.
Yeah, it is.
But I think the news, because all the protests are sort of moving towards being a bit more peaceful now, the news has sort of dropped it because if it bleeds, it leads, is the famous saying.
Pretty much.
And
Three.
nothing's bleeding at the minute, so nothing's getting covered.
Yep.
There are still peaceful protests going on. We'll not get into what happened over the weekend here, because I really don't want to talk about it, because I'll go on a rant for about an hour.
Oh, I forgot about that. But yeah,
it kicked off big time, and a lot of people made themselves look very stupid, and possibly made themselves into criminals. So
yeah.
we'll see.
Well,
We'll keep an eye on that one.
if some of them may already have been. So
yeah, some of them have been arrested as well, and fair play to the police, who were under a lot of pressure from many different people over the past few weeks in this country. That is, I think they've done a decent-ish job. Again, I've tried not to look at it too much because it's a bit depressing.
there's a lot we could say on that, but yeah.
Well, not for now. We'll keep an eye on it, and we'll get back. But back to animals again. In America, once again, it's now a federal crime to where is it going? It's not loading. So animal cruelty is now an official federal felony. So President Trump completed the signing of the bill into law on Monday afternoon. So the bipartisan bill from both sides passed through the House in, I think, October. Then it went to the Senate, which it passed through pretty easily, and then Trump signed it into law on Monday. So it's a major victory in the effort to stop animal cruelty and making our communities safer. Evidence shows that the deranged individuals who harm animals often move on to committing acts of violence against people. It's appropriate that the federal government have strong animal cruelty laws and penalties.
Oh, look at that dog, Baba.
I know. So there is a video there, but I'm not going to play it because, like I say, it lags my computer.
Yeah.
But I thought it was really cool.
No, it's good, and a lot of like serial killers and stuff. They usually have a history of like
animal violence.
Yeah, unfortunately.
So yeah, it really good. And like I say, credit where it's due. Don't give the American government much credit very often, but that's a good step. And hopefully that, they are, like it or not, they sort of set the precedent for a lot of this stuff. So
man.
America's taking something seriously. A lot of other countries wake up and take notice as well, which is sometimes it's bad, but in this case, it's good.
A lot of the media we digest in the West it all comes from America. So
yeah, and the way a lot of people go, like a lot of other countries take a lot of influence from it as well. So I thought we'd just put it out there. It's good. I'm glad. Trouble is, country is so big that all the separate states are run like individual countries, so there's no consistency. Yeah, America is like that. It's completely like state laws and all that kind of stuff. It's really complicated system. Makes you grateful to be here. Every time I look at America, I'm like, it just makes us happy that I don't live there. I'm just like, you can moan about living here all you want, but it's never ever going to be America, which is just great. I'm often grateful that I don't live there.
Yeah, man.
So I was just saying, just talking about the craft video as well. So yeah, tune in on Friday to catch that one on the St. Benedict stream. Sue, been watching Hope for Paws YouTube site, all about rescuing animals in unsafe conditions. Yeah, there's been a few shared on social media of like dogs that have been rehomed and stuff, especially in the pandemic. People have gone out and sort of at least fostering dogs for like a few months, cats and stuff as well, which is really good. And Matthew's saying he's glad to see they're taking crime against animals seriously, which, yeah, very good. Very happy to see that one.
Yes.
Okay, so we're back in America again, and I thought this one was really cool. Sort of back on the subject of the protests and all the civil unrest, shall we call it? If you can call it that, I think that's being polite. Yeah. But so there was a guy in, I believe, let me find out where you at again. Buffalo. So there was a big protest there, and obviously the place ended up a bit trashed. So one of the teenagers who lives locally spent 10 hours cleaning up after a protest, and he got rewarded with a car and a college scholarship.
Whoa.
So
Decent.
Antonio Gwynn Jr. saw the damage from the protests in his hometown of Buffalo, New York, and he grabbed a broom, brought some trash bags, and started cleaning up the streets by himself.
Legend.
Supposedly started at 2 a.m. on the Monday. It didn't stop cleaning for the next 10 hours.
It's a full shift, that, like.
It's a big old shift, like. Then apparently, so the group of like neighbours and residents turned up the morning after, thinking, "Oh, we'll go down and do it." And by the time they got there, he was basically done. So he basically cleaned up this like entire block on his own.
Oh, legend.
And obviously the word spread. I think it went sort of like quote unquote viral on the likes of Facebook and Twitter, and then the community responded. Matt Block saw Gwynn's story on the news and decided to give him his prized 2004 red Mustang convertible. Block 27 told CNN the car is one he wanted since he was a child, but these days he's only using it occasionally. And he'd seen the guy, Gwynn, asking for some car advice on Facebook, so he offered him the car, and obviously he took it. And apparently his mother recently passed away as well, who also drove a red Mustang, so it was like equally sort of sentimental to him, which was really nice. And one of the local businessmen offered him a year free like car insurance for it as well, after hearing what he'd done for the local community. And then after all that, obviously the story just kept on getting more and more sort of like fuel to it. He was going to go to trade school and he'd been saving up to go to college, but the Medill College in Buffalo got in touch with him, offered him a full scholarship, and he's going to study business. And he wants to open a cleaning business as well. So I mean, that's probably the best story you could hope to have if you want to start a sanitation company. This time I cleaned up an entire like block by myself, and that's how I got started. So yeah, great.
Man, it's essential service, man.
That was really cool, and a good like community story, I thought as well.
Definitely,
it's all local people. Sort of
exactly.
Around this guy who's helped them out, and
it's good. Love to hear it, man.
We definitely need a bit more of that at the minute, like.
100%, man.
It's sort of gone back to what Fraser was saying when he was on that Friday. Looking out for each other. I thought that was really good.
Yeah, it's important, especially in the community, man.
So yeah, Lynn, just to clarify on the sunflower one, Mel's pre-recorded a video, but Ant is going to play it on the live stream that St. Benedict are doing on Friday as part of the content. So we've done it for them to be released on the live stream. So it is pre-recorded, but it's going out on the day as part of their event, the Sunflower Day event. But the video will be up on YouTube. In fact, it might already be on there. I don't know if Dan's put it in a playlist yet, but we'll have a look. Basically, stand by. We'll probably put a link to it out on Friday with a little direct towards St. Benedict's, because that's their day to raise awareness and some money and stuff. I don't know what the and stuff is. Money and awareness and happiness. We'll go with that.
Decent, man.
Last but not least, probably the most important one, to be fair, is the one you sent me, Danny. I hadn't even seen this, so you're going to have to talk about this one.
It's pretty cool. The Sky News article. Basically, the UK has found a major breakthrough in treating the coronavirus, and it is a cheap steroid that is £5 apparently.
Okay.
And it's a drug called dexamethasone, right? I don't know how that was.
That sounds. Dexamethasone. You've got to say it quick and say it with confidence, and then
dexamethasone.
There you go. That's it.
And apparently, it reduces death rates by a third for patients on ventilators and a fifth for patients needing oxygen. So this is like one of the biggest breakthroughs globally.
Yeah.
And it's UK scientists who have discovered this. So this is like really big news.
Yeah.
And yeah,
so it's not a steroid that you would take to get like big.
It's not an anabolic steroid.
Your biceps aren't going to grow by like 10 inches, right?
Yeah, unfortunately, it's not an anabolic steroid. So yeah, it's not going to boost your testosterone through the roof. You're not going to.
That's fortunately, because I don't think you really want that. Like smashing doors up and stuff. Like, punching people's head on. But yeah, no, it's really good because of how cheap it is as well. I think that's the main
exactly
thing. Affordable, because we were talking about like the vaccine and how what they're trying to avoid is it becoming price capped basically so only rich people can become immune. And this is another thing. You don't want it to be where, our health service and health services around the world can't afford it. So this is a really, really big breakthrough. So the drug reduced the death rates by around 35% for COVID-19 patients on ventilators and about 20% for patients needing oxygen. Speaking at the Daily Downing Street news briefing, he said, in 3 months we've enrolled over 11,500 patients, and this makes it by far the biggest clinical trial in the world. So it's not even, sometimes when you see the percentages, 35 and 20% of 100
the test groups really,
the test group would be quite small. This test group is over 11,500, which gives them more accurate data. Basically, obviously they'll keep testing it. So Professor Horby said the majority of patients being treated in hospital for COVID-19 were likely to benefit from the study after conducting a trial comparing 2000. Oh, sorry. He's enrolled, right, so that must be people so they've expanded it to 11,500. The trial was 2,000 being
still
treated
decent
with the drug. No, yeah, so that what they're doing now is scaling it up. So they started small and then
11,000.
Yeah. So,
fair enough.
So we'll see from that. And it's another big breakthrough from the UK, which is good to know that our scientists are cracking on and doing some good stuff. I know we made quite a bit of headway with the testing.
Yeah.
Not that the government did much with it at the time, but we made the breakthrough, which is nice.
Yeah.
I think there's been a pretty good effort from, I think Oxford University were the ones that we were on about.
They were the ones of week, I think.
Was it? Yeah.
I think
they
it was,
They started the vaccine trial, didn't they? So this isn't a vaccine, this is a treatment.
Yeah.
To reduce the deaths and the severity as well.
Yeah.
God, Boris Johnson's another one who needs a haircut. I think we're all in the same boat.
His hair's looking looking more and more mental every day, isn't it? Really?
Every day it's like before the briefing he just goes like quickly messes it up.
Towel dried.
Yeah,
so
definitely. Like he's someone's bowled his head down a bowling alley and then pick it up with the top and just give it a quick wipe down with a towel. There you go.
That's the one.
So yeah, science and stuff, man. Like well done. They've done a science. So there's some more detailed stats on the study there. So 2,104 patients, and then the ones that didn't. So they're comparing them to the control group. Over a 28-day period, the mortality rate among patients requiring ventilation was 41%, and those needing oxygen, it was 25%. So it's really good, and I don't think they'll have quite expected the results from such a random treatment.
Yeah. So, and Anthony says that they say they have enough dexamethasone for even if there's a second peak.
Okay.
And Sue says that she was on that medication for her skin. So it's good to hear it's got more usage than she originally thought, and that's why that must be why she didn't have COVID.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, there won't be any of those tablets left. Trump will have ordered them. Oh yeah, God knows what he's taking now. That's the thing. Though. I'll give them credit. Anything. At least they've done the test on this, and they haven't just gone, well, I've been taking it. It's fine. It's great. What a great medicine.
I know.
It's great.
Yeah, and it's like what?
I'm a doctor. I'm great. I'm God.
Just taking this Raj anti-malaria tablet.
Yeah, I'm just gonna take it. The thing is, though, he won't have taken it either. That's the thing. He just lied. Like he just said he did, and he didn't. Like I'm taking it.
Typical of him.
And then if someone tells him it's wrong, no, I'm still taking it. It's working great.
Yeah.
Like I am God. I'm the greatest. Like I can't believe we're talking about Trump again. But I went on Twitter the other day, and when someone quotes a tweet. So for anyone who doesn't know, when you quote a tweet,
I know what you're gonna say.
Retweet it with a comment, and he was retweeting his own tweets, and we've just what was it? It was just Law and Order is all he put. The words Law and Order, and I was like, what? Like the TV show? Like what are you? It's honestly like when I go on and one of me, let's just say older relatives is on Facebook and they've liked their own status and commented on it to themselves.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
what he did?
What is happening? What is?
He did it a couple times. He did another one where he literally retweeted something he said, and then he put "so true" above it, and it's like
So you compliment his own tweet, and it's like, what is this?
So mental.
You're nasty. That's a nasty question.
Nasty question.
No, you're fake news. My favourite one of all times when he says that's a nasty question and it cuts to the reporter and he's just like he's so shocked.
Yeah, he's actually like
and there's a freeze frame. It's just mint.
No, what does he say to him as well? He's like he like comments his credentials.
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
like, no, he's like, I think that you're a terrible reporter.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, that's what he says.
He's like, proper. I've never seen someone physically taken aback. He
I know,
literally like leans back. And he's like, it's like someone sucked the soul right out of his body. Hang on, I need to find a Trump tweet just so I can show you guys what I'm talking about.
It's mental though. It'll literally be like Comcast. We call it Concast. We call it Concast.
So true, so true.
He's like, where are you from? Oh, MSNBC. Fake news. Fake news.
You're nasty.
CNN. That's fake news.
And then he just walks away, but he does that like slow motion, like robot walk that he does.
Yeah.
It's mental, man. Like, honestly, we live in such a crazy time where this guy's like, we literally have a reality TV show like contestant in charge of like.
Yeah, but he's so crazy, dude. He literally is trying to like gaslight.
World.
He's trying to gaslight the general public into thinking that the mainstream media is like some kind of mad fringe group.
Yeah.
Like just like central mainstream media that is like maybe slightly center left, and he's like the crazy Democrats.
The radical left is what you always say.
And it's like, what?
The far left fake news media. I've just seen one there. And then like two tweets underneath, it's something about Obama, and then another tweet underneath, it's like something about
but like he'll literally retweet tweets from like super far right people, and
he
was like
no first, didn't he? Like
would not be surprised, dude. He retweeted like there's a like the thing Alex Jones has. There's something else like that called OAN. Which is like they're literally like a proper fringe.
It's linked to white supremacy, right?
Yeah, and he was basically saying because they were talking about that Martin Gugino guy who got pushed over, and he was citing their thing saying he had some kind of police scanner.
Oh, I didn't even put that in. I didn't. Did we talk about that last week?
I don't think. Maybe I'm not sure.
The guy who got pushed over, the old guy who got pushed over and split his head open, Trump tweeted and accused him of being a crisis actor and said that he was paid to fall down and that he was someone. I think it might have been one of his sons retweeted a thing, and it was like. It was like a super zoomed in pixelated version of the photo saying this is where the blood pouch is, and then when he fell down he deployed it. It's like, come on, man. Like, we've all seen the video.
They've like, not to like bring the tone down, but like he's in a hospital now and he can't walk at the moment.
It got reported as him being stable, but all that means is he's not getting any better and he's not getting any worse.
Yeah, he can't walk.
He was in a coma for a week.
Yeah.
He nearly died. And everyone's like, he's fine, he's a crisis actor. It's like, well, no, the policeman pushed him over and he nearly died.
Yeah. So Trump using the police to clear a peaceful protest. But he used tear gas, right? He like tear gassed the whole area just to get a photo.
I seen someone retweeted the video where he's holding it like that, and they said you can almost see the smoke coming off his hand as it sets on fire, holding that Bible. And that was really good.
Nobody. Like, not enough people have commented on the irony of that, just like how it's the least Christian thing you can do. It's to like violently move people out the way to take a picture of the Bible.
Did you see the video they tweeted out about it? It was straight up propaganda. It made him look like a hero just for walking to a church.
And it was just because he lost a little bit of face because he held it upside down as well, right?
That's like the cross upside down is a symbol of the Antichrist as well.
Oh my
goodness. I don't think he realised, but that's not good. Not a good look.
In a man, it's crazy.
To make me point, basically, if you're on Twitter, don't do this, and if you're on Facebook, don't like comment to yourself. So don't tweet something and then retweet it yourself saying that it's true, because like it just makes you look stupid.
Yeah.
It makes us laugh. Like every time I log in, someone will send us a screenshot of something that's happened on it. And I have to log in. I have to go to his profile and check because I can't tell what's fake and what's real anymore when it comes to Trump.
I know. If he's willing to say stuff like about that guy with the police scanners, like he
called him Antifa. He called him Antifa.
I know. He literally implied in his tweet that he fell. Like it's like
the way he fell was impossible to split his head open. He said or something like that.
It's unreal, man.
This dude. Look at this dude.
Yeah, Lynn's saying there the pic in the Bible looks like in his face. It looked like he was going to set it on fire. So that's right.
Oh god, there's an election this year in America as well.
I know, dude. Do you know what's so funny about this election? They what they've started doing is that they've got like Biden's had this absolutely genius campaign, and it's called Republicans Against Trump. And basically, all of the Republicans who support Trump at the moment have kind of, at least a lot of them, used to be pro-Biden, and they're like, so they were part of Biden's campaign and stuff. Like, there's a guy called, I think, Lindsey Graham. He was like he was in Biden's campaign, and they've said so much good stuff about Biden, and then they've made like a supercut of their stuff, of them saying good stuff about Biden into an advert. So that Lindsey Graham, before Trump got elected, was saying about how bad Trump is, how he's like awful and stuff. And then after he got elected, he's like, oh, Trump's amazing. But during that time as well, he was talking about how good Biden is. So they've made a supercut of him saying awful stuff about Trump, and then of him saying the good stuff about Biden. It's genius how they've like put it together.
I'll check it out. Yeah. Luckily, like I say, every time I look at it, I'm like, thank God we don't live over there. We get to watch like through the safety glass. It's like being at this sort of, not quite the zoo, but like you know what I mean. Like there's that safety of the Atlantic Ocean in between us,
definitely,
which is nice.
For sure, man.
We haven't said China yet.
China.
So Liam was disappointed, but there you go. There's two.
China. I need my China.
There's also, if you just Google, if you go on YouTube and type in Donald Trump China, it's one where there's a super cut of that where he says it about 800 times. Also billions and billions and billions. So I'll put the link to the survey in there. I'm going to stick the mental health and other helpful link information on the screen right now. And then I'm going to leave the stream on for a few minutes. So if you could please do the survey. Keep an eye out for the stream on Friday, the Staying Connected, our Staying Connected, but also the St. Benedict's one. If you go to their Facebook and have a look on that, that'll have the craft video on. And just keep your eyes peeled in general. Remember to subscribe to the channel. You'll get some notifications when we're on. And stay safe and have a good rest of your Wednesday, my dudes.
Yeah, enjoy your Wednesday, guys. Thanks for dropping by. And see you guys later.
Give me a shout if you've got anything you want us to share, and we'll go from there. Do you remember to do the survey as well? I didn't play the alarm, but just imagine I did like Nino, do the survey. It's
like a fire truck or an ambulance.
Yeah, it's the survey police. No, not police. Like that. But yeah, okay, cool. Goodbye. God bless.